I'm going to talk about, this is the line judge position, by the way. Some pre-snaps responsibilities. The biggest thing is to tell your referee non-verbally, like, what down it is. Second down or third down or something like that. Because sometimes the referee forgets. And it's always good to help them out. One of the biggest things also is to look to see how many flag belts are out on the field. If there's 6 flags and 7 people, then obviously someone doesn't have a flag belt, and then if they score a touchdown that play, it doesn't count. So just make sure you guys are keeping track of how many flag belts are in each. And then just do it for both teams. Like, I know that's a lot of people to count right before they even play.
Line judge just does offense.
Oh, line judge just does offense. I did everyone.
That's why you were so confused.
Yeah, that's why. Okay. And then, we don't doing that. Okay. One of the easiest things I like to do to make my job easier at line judge is look for matchups. If you obviously see a wide receiver is going to be a lot faster than a cornerback, then the cornerback's probably going to hold him a little bit, probably push him around a little bit just to make sure he can keep up with them. So it's just easier. You're not moving downfield with them, but it's easier just to get that in your head, just to make sure that if there is a penalty right at first, you could tell which person is going to do it and stuff like that. And it's just easier, not just for wide receivers, but for linemen. That's your biggest responsibility, is to make sure who's been moving, who's been making contact the entire game and stuff like that. Because on the line, you're not supposed to make contact with the other person. You're supposed to, the linemen are supposed to stay within their body. They're not supposed to put their hip out or put their arm out. So the defender has to go around them. They can't split 2 linemen, but they have to go around them. So something not, like, especially for turning night. For turning night will be very aggressive most of the time. And that's where you'll get most of your illegal contacts on the line. And then pretty much every other game is going to be a lot of false starts and stuff like that, and illegal snaps. And the only person, does anyone know how many people are supposed to be on the line for the offense? 1. Yeah, 1. That's the biggest thing, just the linemen. And the ball doesn't have to necessarily be on the orange cone. You want it to be around the orange cone. So
within a half a yard.
Yeah, within a half a yard. Make sure they're not in front of the cone by, like, all the way to the other cone. But just make sure they're within reason, just to make sure that they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. Okay, so at the snap, you have 2 different penalties. Does anyone know the 2 types of penalties? Oh, like, there's blow and go and throw and go. Which one's the blow and goes? Like, which acronym goes with that? Yeah, the fields. Does anyone know, like, the actual stuff for infields?
False start.
There you go. Yeah, like false starts.
Like leaving without substituting.
Yeah, illegal subs and stuff like that.
Illegal snap.
Delay a game.
Yeah,
Motions with mishaps.
delay a game, stuff like that. And then mishaps are pretty much anything that you throw it. So contact plays like illegal contact.
Throw and goers are mishaps.
Yeah.
So motion, illegal shifts, illegal participation, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So those are your big mishap plays. And just make sure you get those right. It's okay if you mess them up a couple times, but after a while, you just gotta set in the groove, because it does cause a lot of problems later on if someone scores and then you're not supposed to call it the other way. So, and then your biggest responsibility when the ball is snapped is to watch the line, because there will be a lot of contact when the game's closed. There will be a lot more contact at the line. So just make sure you snap it in the butt early, because if you wait until the 4th quarter to start calling them, by that point they're not going to listen to you. They're just going to keep doing it. So just make sure you get it early in the game so they know that they'll actually be enforced. And when the ball is snapped, after the initial rush is all over, you're going to move about 3 to 5 yards downfield and look for other plays with the run. Flat guarding, pass interference, stuff like that are going to be close up. But if someone's going to be like running a sweep on that side, you're not going to obviously move 3 to 5 yards downfield. The play is going to be back here. So you can move back a little bit and just try to get the best angle on the ball as possible. You don't necessarily have to just run straight down 5 yards and count it. Just use your discretion.
Me? I'm good.
Yeah.
So like he was saying, as line judge, your job is to follow the plays, because you're going to be your job is to see whether or not they step out of bounds on your sideline, okay? And you can't do that if you're running this way and they're behind you. So make sure you are trailing that play. We have back judges down the field that can get the plays further down. That does not mean that you just walk down the sidelines, because technically, yeah, you could see if they step on that line from like 10, 15 yards back, but you're not going to have a presence on the field. You're not going to be able to help out your back judge if there's a subtle flag guarding. So make sure you are following it. I would say stay within like 5-7 yards with the play. That way you have the best view, because you also don't want to be so close, because if I am standing this close to Twigger and he swipes his hand, I won't be able to see it unless I am just have great peripheral vision. So make sure you are staying within that 5 to 7 yards with the play. Your job is also, as soon, like he said, you're going to move 3 to 5 yards downfield, and you're watching those middle plays right there. So the short passes, the short screen passes. If there's a sweep, like you said, you're going to back up, let the play go by you, and then you're watching anything in the middle. You might have like a screen, because anytime someone sets a screen to get in the way of the defender, it is a penalty. So make sure you're not ball watching. You're literally you're walking. The ref has everything back there. They can deal with that. You're then watching everything in the middle of the field. After the play is over, you're gonna get the spot. If you're the one who called the end of the play, so if someone's deflagged right there, you stop the play, you blow your whistle, you have your spot. You hold your spot until the ref comes with their pucks, and you're gonna chop them in, just like that. So as soon as they are lined up with you, you're gonna chop in. That's as soon as you chop them in, they're gonna stop and they're gonna put their pucks down. So it's your job to make sure the ref puts the pucks in the right spot. I'm sure they went over that earlier. If you are not the person who ended the play with your whistle, meaning you don't have the spot at the end of the play, you need to hustle downfield, get it from your field judge or back judge, and hold it until your ref gets there. Or vice versa, if someone gets sacked in the backfield, you need to sprint back there, get the spot from your ref so they can go get the pucks. Okay? So you are doing most of the running as line judge, which if you're wanting a workout out of this job, I highly suggest line judge. Another thing, if there's a penalty on the play, you need to make sure that you're holding that spot until the penalty has been enforced if you were not the person who threw the penalty flag. So if Matt is my field judge and he threw a pass interference, I'm going to hold that spot until the ref has marched out whatever yardage there was, and then the pucks have been set for the next play. Why do you think we don't move until everything's been enforced? What if we have pass interference? We know that's going to be enforced from the previous spot, which is back there. So I walk away, but the other team says, no, I want to decline the penalty. I want the ball at the end of the run. We don't have it anymore. We don't have instant replay or anything to know where you're standing. So make sure you are holding it until the penalty has been enforced. If you are the ref who threw the penalty flag, you're obviously not going to stand there the whole time and yell at the ref what happened. You're going to hold your spot, give it to your field judge who should run up and get it. If they are not running up and getting it, just yell their name, tell them, hey, come get my spot. Give them the spot, then go. And tell them not to move until the penalty has been enforced. There are two major responsibilities for the line judge when we are within the 10-yard line. So if we all look downfield, there's the 20-yard line, there's an X, there's a little white line, and then we have the goal line. So the little white line in the middle right there is our 10-yard line. Whenever the ball is snapped within the 10-yard line, our responsibility as line judge is that goal line. So as soon as the ball is snapped, we are no longer waiting the 3 to 5 seconds for the initial rush. As soon as it's snapped, we're busting our butt to get to that goal line, because that is the most important line on the field, because that is where you score. It is your responsibility to be able to see, was the ball in or not. If you are not on the line, so if I am way down here, that's the goal line, and they cross it, and I call touchdown, is anyone going to believe me if it's a close play? No. So you need to be on that line. I don't care if you have to sprint until your guts fall out. You need to make sure that you are on that line, ready to go before the ball gets there. If that means before the ball is snapped, so you don't think you can get there fast enough. Before the ball is snapped, you're starting to cheat. If you really need to do that, do it to get on the goal line. Now, reverse that. If someone gets backed up so far that they are within their own 10-yard line back here with the goal line behind them, that's when we have reverse goal line in effect. You need to communicate that with your referee by going like this, saying reverse goal line. And that's when, as soon as the ball is snapped, you're moving back to that goal line in order to get the safety, okay? So the ref is not going to worry about safety at all. Your job is to call the safety. All right? Any questions on line judge? Did we miss anything? I don't think so. On co-rec, it's a little bit different. When the ball is snapped, you don't go the 3 to 5 yards because if it is a male-to-male completion on a close play or a male runs through the line of scrimmage with the ball on a close play, we have you stay on the line of scrimmage the whole play because that is where the spot of enforcement is. We want to see, we want you to be able to see if they cross that line. Because if they get really close and we don't have anyone watching that line, we have no idea whether or not to throw a illegal male advancement penalty. So on co-rec and co-rec only, you need to make sure that you are staying on the line of scrimmage until the ball crosses the line. As soon as somebody crosses there's either a pass or somebody runs through the line legally with the ball, that's when you're going to start trailing the play. Okay? That's the only difference in co-rec. Line judge, you're going to have most of the penalty calls. You're going to be doing most of the running, but you do the least amount of talking. So you're kind of the workhorse on the crew. I personally liked line judge because it keeps you active. You're always in a play. You're always involved. As you move downfield, you get a little less and less involved with the play. But you're going to be calling most of the contact penalties on the line. You're going to be calling most of the false starts and like illegal snap and encroachment and all that good stuff. And you also are going to get a lot of the short plays, which in some of our leagues, like the women, some of the co-rec, and even some of our men's teams, a majority of their plays are going to be short. So you're going to be getting most of the spots. So just make sure if you are on line judge, you are being very active. Cool? Any questions? Doesn't have to be about line judge. Any questions at all? Like maybe you just need a little clarification about something we've learned. Is it just too much stuff? You just need too many questions, you can't think of one.
So what is, how long is the play clock?
Play clock?
Snapping.
25 seconds. And that's going in the ref's head. And then the game clock is going to be on your back judge's wrist. We'll give you guys a clock, but they should go over that in a little bit. No, so you're going to throw your flag, and the flag's going to hold that spot. But you're going to hold the end of the run. So it's an incomplete pass, you don't need to worry about it. Obviously, because there's no spot to mark because we're going back to the previous spot. But if it's a catch, and they've run a few yards, and there is an end of the run spot that you need to keep, you're going to pass it to your field judge. And as soon as they get the end of the run, your flag's right there. They're both protected by the field judge now, and you can walk and go tell your ref what you have. Any other questions?
Don't allow the players to get the flag first.
Oh, please don't.
Because one of these times you're going to throw the flag in the throw, and you're going to come back and try to find your flag, and they already picked it up trying to hand it to you. So don't let them take your flag and try to hand it back to you.
This applies more to the ref, but same with the cones. Because those cones mark your previous spot.
All right. Very cool. Are they staying here for the next